Hello everybody, my name is Cameron, and I hope you can be mindful of this video because I have autism and I'm not usually used to making a review of something that I like. So I'm gonna be pretty nerve-wracked for this because I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, and I hope you guys can be mindful of how much I stutter or uh stall between words. So with that, explanation out of the way, I hope you can enjoy the video as much as you can, because this is still a new experience for me, and I'd like to get better at it as I go along, especially with me recording and editing this video on the PlayStation Share Factory. Other than that, please try to enjoy the video, and let's get this going. Sucker Punch is the game company that created Sly Cooper, and it was like the second game that they made in terms of how long they've been active for the time being. And Sly's cover art, as well as just like art in general, will pretty much scream at you as to how much dedication that they put into it. So it's pretty easy to tell at first glance that Sly's a raccoon thief, and his name is pretty easy to remember too. It rolls off the tongue and sticks to your mind like Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's also catchy enough like Scooby-Doo or something. Or at least that's how I view it. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Let's get past that already. Sly's game is pretty fun to play, especially considering how well the plot was. I really enjoyed it, and it's a part of one of the reasons why I still come back to this game, like, occasionally, especially since I found out that you can buy this for, like, $10 on the PlayStation Store. So enough about advertising or whatever, so let's just get into the plot and what it's supposed to be. Sly was meant to inherit a book called The Thievius Raccoonus, a manual which has had every single Cooper family member etch some sort of skill they made into it and passed through the generations, until one night Sly's father was murdered, and his home was ransacked until 5 villains known as the Fiendish Five stole the Thievius Raccoonus. Upon doing so, they tore the book up amongst themselves and went across the globe in order to commit some sort of criminal activity, leaving Sly an orphan and getting dumped at the town orphanage, where he met his best friends Bentley and Murray. Bentley's the brains of the outfit, while Murray is the goofball and getaway driver. Sly has to earn his family right instead of inheriting it like every ancestor before him, which is a story that I really enjoy. And Sly's gameplay is really intriguing because every 100, simply putting it first, every 100 coins you gather gets you a lucky charm, which functions similar to that of Aku Aku from Crash Bandicoot, but instead of becoming invincible every 3 horseshoes you get, or lucky charms, you can't really get 3. You can only obtain a total of 2 max, and unlike Aku Aku, these things protect you when you fall into ditches or if you fall into certain hazards that you'd normally die from. Which, why doesn't Aku do that? Is he too lazy? Anyway, every 100 coins you get a horseshoe or a lucky charm, but you could also find them laying around occasionally in levels, but they become more and more rare as the game goes on. And once you've obtained the maximum amount of horseshoes, I keep calling them horseshoes, they're supposed to be called lucky charms, but I just call them horseshoes because it feels easier. But once you have the maximum amount of lucky charms, you get an extra life every 100 coins you get. And I like this because it transfers like one thing to another in the game, and it keeps it intriguing and makes me want to like try to avoid getting hit as much as possible so I could get as many lives as I can throughout my playthrough. And small details like the world and how it's made feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is really, really enjoyable. Especially the title cards for this one. Like, each level has its own unique title card. The title card for this one, for this level that you're seeing, is called Tides of Terror. I like that title card because it like oozes with its like personality of what level is meant to be. Well, I say level. It's more like a hub world that has access to levels, and the characters' interaction with each other is really funny to watch too. I'd give an example of that, but I don't have much time to like do so right now while I'm making this video. So you'll just have to take my word for it, as well as like the wording that you see on screen. But you only encounter like explanations of the main villains of the areas you're in like once, as well as like encountering one more time at the end of the level. So you could say something like, oh, I don't get enough of them, but here's an example of a way you could get another.
I see, chaps. My heartiest congratulations to you all. The Storm Machine has sunk its 50th ship last night, and the loot has already been unloaded. Our operation is moving along splendidly, with the possible exception being the gross negligent display below decks, and I demand the boilers stay at full pressure at all times. If you lazy, lowbrow, technically incompetent pack of gutter snipes did your jobs right, we'd have sunk 100 ships by now. But of course, 50 boats is a fine, fine achievement. Carry on, my boys, carry on.
Every villain in the game, except for Clockwork, will have an audio like this where they speak over the mic and tell their subordinates what's going on and how things are doing. It really, like, I don't know the right word or how to explain it like correctly due to my autism, but I will say it like gives me a read on like their personality or something like that. And I like learning about villains, especially like when developers add like tiny details such as lighting or let's see what else, like lighting or like some kind of small detail like effects, kind of like just like tiny details that I like to look at in depth about a game in general, let's just say, instead of me just like going on about how to explain it and just like piloting it on to annoy you. Wait, no, not to annoy you, like accidentally annoy you. That's what I meant. I'm not trying to bore you or like confuse you guys or anything. I'm just like trying to avoid like getting you all bored. But other than that, Sly Cooper really gives off a vibe of a silly cartoon that's like, well, not a silly cartoon, but like that vibe of an old kid's like heist movie for everybody. And it's really fun to enjoy as well as play, aside from like the constant mini games that you have to go on through, which I really should give you some examples right now, so sorry. So yeah, like I said, the game becomes more abundant with the constant minigames as you go on. You only get like one minigame in the first world area. As for the other worlds, they become like increasing by one because of like how many there are. I don't know how to explain it correctly. But uh, like I said, Sly Cooper is a game that's definitely worth your time and is definitely worth the $10 as well. So if you got any like money that you want to spend at the moment, or like have something nothing like really interesting or better to do, I'd recommend getting this game because it's got a good story, and despite the irritating and frustrating mini games, it's a game that I'll constantly come back to along with every other character, especially those who just come back for.
Who could ever forget the lovely Carmelita? Looks like we're not going to be friends anymore.
Who the hell let you into my room? Other than that, Sly Cooper is a game that is really fun to play and has an incredible story as well as intriguing characters that keep me invested the entire time. Despite its flaws of the constant mini games and not enough like stealth platforming, I still really enjoyed it, and I genuinely just keep playing it so I can improve my skills. And one of the biggest charms to me about this game was how much it reminded me of like early 2000s animation and stuff. It's always nice to like try to look for something that like takes you back to when you were younger, because there's nothing wrong with taking a trip down memory lane or discovering new treasures, especially with how like Hollywood and other places these days are really just putting out the same thing over and over again. So I feel like going back in time and looking for anything that catches your eye is a good idea, especially if you like enjoy older like franchises and stuff. So if I did have to recommend like a specific game, it would definitely Sly Cooper would definitely be the highest on my list of recommended games. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. And this is the end of the video. And make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see me try to improve myself throughout this journey of classics. Goodbye.